Hello. Yeah, right. I really need to do a post-auto assembly video. I've already tried to record it once and I made a right mess of it. I just can't put across my feelings about what auto assembly was for me this year, and I keep missing out things that I did and said and saw, and I made a right mess of it. I really did. Yeah, so I'm going to do this now. It's just going to be a very quick I'm going to try and keep it quick, not talk too much about it. Yeah, turned up on the Friday, went over to the bar while I was waiting to check into my room. Spoke to a few people. Sammy Skullgrin 140 came over and said hello to me, which was great because I'm not a subscriber of his. I do watch some of his videos. But he's never commented on any of my videos, but it was great for him to come over and say hello to me. Then later on, I had a good chat at the bar with Craigie Lotus, which was fantastic. Had a nice little natter with him. Then when my posse, shall we say, turned up, Chris Six Shot Changer and Natalie all in a blur. They were over by the reception desk, and TF Knowlesy came over and Pex was there, so I snapped this little shot. And who should be walking past but Mr. Bumble Jumper? So I got photo bombed by Bumble Jumper 82. Yeah, and so the rest of the day it was just chilling around in the bar. Then they had the evening session where they opened the hall up and did the pub quiz. They were still setting up the traders room, but they had it cordoned off. You could just stand there the other side of the tables and look across at everything being set up and drool. And I was there sort of picking out targets for what I was going to buy first thing on the Saturday morning. And then a bit later on they had the convention exclusive sales table, which opened up for the limited trading they were doing on the Friday night. I waited until the crowd had dispersed and they were packing up before I went over and bought TF Con Roswell for 20 quid with my food money. That was a little cheeky starter for the thing that was to come. And then it was back into the bar, and everybody was getting well lashed and having a really good time. And me, I was sat with the Six Shot and Natalie and Matthew Grant Toy Therapy, and we had a really good session. I went to bed a bit earlier than most people did because I wanted to upload some videos actually for my my auto assembly 2015 video challenge. So I went back to the room and edited a few things together and posted them up. So that was that. Had a slightly uncomfortable night's sleep, mainly because I found the bed to be a bit hard and the pillows lumpy. But I got up fairly early because I wanted to get a good place in the queue, because I knew there was going to be a big queue going in for Saturday morning. Managed to get some breakfast, and then I got in the queue and I was fairly close to the front. And as soon as I went in, made a beeline for the fan sales table and Galaxy Force Convoy. Then I went over to the Capel stand and bought exhaust, and I was on the ball. Last year I did a couple of laps around the hall and I didn't buy anything for a good 45 minutes, whereas this time I was like, boom, literally 10 seconds after getting through the door I bought something. So, and as I mentioned in my haul videos, that I had these envelopes full of cash. Which I bought with me, £250 in each, and I had one for each of the 4 sessions I'll be doing, like morning and afternoon session on the Saturday and the Sunday, so I would rip one open and spend it. Went round, bought a bunch of stuff in the morning, then in the afternoon carried on buying. Did a couple of panels in the afternoon, went into the Ben's Collectibles panel, and I was sat behind Few Adams. And Ben was going through how he started his channel and all that, and that was really good. And then when he mentioned about knockoff toys, I got out my knockoff Classics Mirage, and as few turned round, I presented it to him because I've been meaning for ages to give it to him for his next knockoff beatdown review. So that was good. Then I went back into the hall, saw Mr. Simon Furman sat at the table on his own, nobody around him, wanting to get stuff signed. So I thought, oh well, I wanted to get some stuff signed by you, so I took this with me, which I got in that huge comic haul. So I got him to sign that, and I'd also picked one of these up earlier in the day, and I got him to sign that. And on the table in front of him, he had a bunch of these posters, which I also got him to sign. So that was great, that was fantastic. Then obviously I did the rest of the afternoon session. It was pretty good. Bought a bunch of stuff, spent like 500 quid. You can see behind me some of my haul. I haven't actually touched any of this stuff. All this stuff is either sealed or I haven't transformed it, so all these loose ones I haven't touched yet. And all those carded and box stuff, I haven't opened them yet because this week I've been so busy with other things. I had a right bear trying to do my haul videos, especially the second one, which was an absolute nightmare to edit. So yeah, it's only now on the bank holiday Monday, while it's absolutely teeming it down with rain outside, do I actually have time to sit down and do my auto assembly reflections video. And this is the second attempt because the first one just completely went to rat shit. Anyway, yeah, then it went into the bar on the Saturday night, and I, even though I was a lot better this year at socialising, I still wasn't, diving in and really getting in the thick of it. I was sort of standing on the outside and watching everybody else because that's sort of the thing that I do. I'm a very good observer or listener. I will sit there and listen to people talking, or I'll stand there and I'll watch people. And there was other people I spoke to, and again, I just did a lot better than last year, but I didn't do as well as I should have done. The highlight of the weekend for me, though, was on the Saturday evening. I was up at the bar, and I looked across into the corner of the bar, and there was some chap stood there handling a G1 Grimlock. And I saw the G1 Grimlock, and I says, I know that Grimlock. Because I put a bunch of things on these fans sales table, and one of them was this this beta of a G1 Grimlock that I'd basically bought at a car boot sale a couple of month or so previously, and I'd swapped a load of bits over with my other Grimlock that I had, which had the chest plate that was been broken in half and glued together. And it was basically an amalgamation of all the worst parts of the two Grimlocks that I had, and I just threw it out on the fan sales table for 5 quid. And this bloke was there, he was cuddling it and fondling it on the bar. And I introduced myself to him, and I said, oh, that's my Grimlock, and he was absolutely besotted with this thing. He absolutely loved it. And he didn't give his name, but here's a picture of him. And he come from Ireland, and he was really into his customising because he showed me a bunch of pictures on his phone of bots that he customised, and he was cock-a-hoot with my G1 Grimlock, mainly because I had, in order to make it a bit more interesting to sell, the head, which is usually fixed in position, I'd removed the head, and it's got like a pin that holds it static in a position. I'd shaved the peg off and loosened the screw, so he actually had a head rotation, and he was absolutely over the moon with this. He couldn't believe it, that this G1 Grimlock with a rotating head. He was just going on about it all the time to his friends and carrying it everywhere with him. And I couldn't believe it, and I just said, you do realise this Grimlock is an absolute piece of junk. I just made it out of all the worst possible parts I could. It's got no chrome on it, tatty decals, loose joints, broken tabs, the works. But he absolutely loved it to bits. And he said it was even better than the Grimlock that he had. So I had a really good chat with this guy. Don't know what his name was, but it was fantastic to meet him. And I was over the moon that he was so... He loved a toy that I had owned and had sold. And he just loved it so much. And I know it's going to a great home. And whoever you are, if you're watching my video, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you. And I'm glad you got so much enjoyment out of some crappy little toy that I sold. Yeah, so that was the highlight of the weekend. Moving on to the Sunday, I had a bunch of panels I wanted to do. I had inadvertently missed out on the third party panel on the Saturday. It wasn't until the Sunday till I realised that I'd missed it, and I was so gutted that I hadn't been to it. Yeah. But anyway, went around the hall. There was a few things that I'd seen on the Saturday afternoon that I'd sort of targets that I'd said I'm going for those when I got some more money. So I, again, quite early on the Sunday, picked up a few things, including Mania King. Yeah, on the Sunday, late Sunday morning, went to the YouTube panel. Sat in there. Obviously, it's up on YouTube. Fantastic. The room was just full of YouTubers. You know, just about every major YouTuber in the UK was in that room. Well, most of them anyway, who was in that room. It was fantastic. Really good laugh. And that was awesome. Later on in the day, I really wanted to do the Dreamwave talk with Simon Furman, but I only remembered about it at the last minute. Went round to the room and they'd already started. And when I opened the door, it was standing room only. So I missed out on that one, the Dreamwave talk, and it was again another disappointment. I really wanted to do that one. So then I went back to the hall, bought a few more things, and Peter Spellos was doing his signing session. So there I had to get a bunch of stuff signed by Peter Spellos. Got him to sign my card. He had these on the table. Obviously, Miramon from Digimon, the original series. I'm a bit of a fan of that series, so I asked him to sign me one of these cards. And one of the convention Grail figures that I wanted to get was an RID Skybite. But as I've been going around the hall, the only Skybite I saw, apart from lots of Generations ones, was the repaint, the Cyber Shark one. And I didn't really want that, and it was loose and it was sort of in bits, so didn't really want to bother with that. I wanted a box one, but I didn't see one at all. And then on the Sunday, I thought, okay, I'm going to buy the next best thing. I'm going to get the Takara, Adventure Skybite. Went over to the Kapow stall. They'd sold out. They had a bunch of them on the Saturday, but again, didn't pick it up. And they'd gone by the Sunday. So I only had one option left to me. Go third party. Yeah, there was that little stall in the corner that was doing the KFC stuff. And they had a bunch of these. So I bought Heavy Metal Haiku. And got Peter to sign it for me. Then, obviously, Peter, being the absolutely awesome bloke that he is, his assistant, took a photo of me and him together, which he did with so many other people, which was ace. And then I walked away and was talking to somebody else, and I'd left something behind on the table. So his assistant came running after me and says, "Oh, you've left this behind." I thought, "Oh, thank you." I would totally forgot about it. So that was awesome. The afternoon wore on. Did stuff. I'm getting really forgetful. Like I said, it's been a week now. A lot of water's gone under the bridge, and my memory's not really that great. So if I met you and I don't give you a mention in this video, I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Yeah, like, I've just forgotten about the bloody cosplay contest on the Saturday night. You see? This is what happened when I did my first recording of the video. I totally forgot stuff. Totally forgot stuff went out of my head that I did. Yeah, the cosplay. I went in the hall, watched the bot cosplay, which was great. Some of the cosplays were amazing. The RID Grimlock was awesome. One of my favourites was the rescue bot Servo, the dog. That was awesome. I didn't get a picture of it, but got some pictures of some of the other cosplayers, which I will put in a gallery at the end of the video. And then it was the humanised one, and I wasn't really that interested in watching that. So I went to walk out, and there's Ben Wasp Shop and his friend John in their, you know, DJD suits with the masks on. So I got a picture of them. And I know you weren't supposed to film the cosplay contest, but I got this little video clip of those guys going out for their turn at the cosplay, so check this out.
Genuinely intimidated. Gentlemen, it is very nice to have you both here. How have you both been? Pretty good. And I don't intend for you to have any problems. And you, sir, do you talk much? Right, okay. I get the point. Ladies and gentlemen, Varsland Tar. Well, that wasn't a pleasant experience.
Yeah, so I know you weren't supposed to film it, but there was loads of people taking photos and filming, so it's the last auto assembly. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's got an official video of it eventually that will go up on the auto assembly channel. Yeah, so that was amazing, and like I said, I almost forgot to mention it in this video. I'm trying to keep the editing to an absolute minimum in this video. I mess up a bunch of times in my videos. Yeah, so that was that. Getting back to the Sunday afternoon, I was pretty much spent most of my money and things was winding down. I wanted to get some more stuff signed. I didn't manage to get these signed by James Horan and Somali Montaro. Mainly because when I was in the hall, they weren't doing their signing sessions. I sort of just missed out on that completely. But I thought, well, what can I do now? I know, I'm going to see if I can get some signings from Simon Plume and Trish, the event organisers. So I went over to the auto assembly table. Simon was there. Trish wasn't, she'd gone home. So I managed to get him to sign my Swerve card. And I also managed to get him to sign my pass, which was great. So that was fantastic. And then it was just hanging around, the last couple of quid in my pocket, buying a few last minute things. Got paid out on the fan sales table. Yeah, and managed to buy a last couple of figures with it. And that was that. I was then pretty much had my fill of the event, and I didn't stick around for the closing ceremony, which I probably should have done. I walked round the hall and then the bar, just saying my goodbyes to whoever it was I came across. So if I didn't say goodbye to you, I'm sorry, because I didn't manage to catch you. So yeah, and then I went home. I missed the closing ceremony, which I'm going to have to watch on YouTube. And that was my auto assembly. Sorry, I'm not really that good at putting my feelings across in a video. It's just it's just I'm not very good at that. It was a brilliant event, fantastic event. As this is only my second auto assembly and I haven't been to that many, I only did last year one day and I did the 3 days this year, it doesn't mean as much to me as it would some other people. So I did a lot better this year in terms of socialising and talking to people. I did a lot better, but I still could have done even better still. Met a bunch more people who have never met before. Bumble Jumper 82, Sam, Mr. Skullgrin. Met Chris Six Shot Changer, Natalie All in a Blur, Matt Toy Therapy, Few Adams, and quite a few other people who I've never seen before. So that was great. And that was my auto assembly experience. It was really something. It was an awesome thing. I spent over £1,000 in cash. The stuff you see behind me, I don't know whether I mentioned it before, but I haven't actually played with this stuff yet. I haven't opened any of these boxes or packets, and I haven't played with these loose figures yet, so I haven't transformed them. So I still got a bit of auto assembly left to get out of my system. The other thing I need to mention as well, which I will do a separate video for, I also spent another £100 on a bunch of comics on a separate deal, because Pred, Mr. Destruction Snake Pit, contacted me about 2 weeks before auto assembly, and he'd seen my huge comic haul video, and he says, "Oh, I've got a bunch of comics for you," and he basically offered me another £100 worth of comics, and I thought, oh, the timing's terrible. But anyway, made an arrangement. He came across about 10 o'clock. He rang my mobile. I met up with him. We went up into the room. He had this huge bag full of comics, and anyway, I gave him the £100, and that allowed him to go around the hall and spend some money. So £1,000 on toys, £100 on comics. That was my auto assembly haul. Yeah, so it was an awesome experience. Like I said, it still wasn't. I still wasn't as good as I could have been, and I regret that. I'm really sorry that I never fully came out of my shell. I'm not very good at socialising with people, but I did do a lot better this year. And anybody who spoke to me, if I seemed a little distant, that was the reason why. But yeah, what more can I say? I haven't played with this stuff yet, but what I have played with, who so far is my pick of auto assembly? What figure have I got that really floated my boat? Hunt for the Decepticons Breacher. Oh my god. This thing is glorious! It's absolutely wicked. I love it. But I don't want to go into details right now because I'm planning on doing a really gushy review over this figure at some point. But it's amazing, and so far this little scout figure is the best thing I picked up at auto assembly. It's incredible. But yeah, that's that. I'm going to do a photo gallery now of all the pictures that I took. Well, most of the pictures I took at auto assembly, so I hope you enjoy that. If you watched my video and enjoyed it, please comment. If I didn't come up to and see you, there was a bunch of people who I saw who never spoke to. I'm sorry about that. But hopefully this TF Nation next year will pick up where auto assembly left off. And I'm going to roll out roll call in a couple of weeks' time, and it's shaping up really nicely. And this auto assembly, I was kind of distracted with trying to do all those videos that I did, and you know, lists and everything. I'm still doing the lists, obviously, but I want to relax. I want to do that thing that Smizno was talking about in his video, about just a bunch of guys sat around a table drinking and playing with toys. You know, I want to get in on that action, and hopefully at Rollout Roll Call that will come true. There's a bunch of guys going down to Rollout Roll Call who I really, really, really want to meet. Yeah, so I'm really hoping that Rollout Roll Call is going to be a better event for me than Auto Assembly. So yeah, this is me signing off. Pictures to come. I will see you next time. Bye bye.